Hi, my name's Dan and I'm an electrician, and I show you the good, the bad and the ugly. Today, in this video, is a good one, so stay tuned and watch throughout to the very end because you may learn something here. In this video, I'm going to show you how deadly electricity can be in the right conditions, or in this case, the wrong conditions. What I'm going to show you, please do not try this at home, because if you get this wrong, you could end up seriously injured or fatally injured. So I must stress, do not try this at home. So this is my setup. What I've got here is my mains consumer unit, my main earth terminal. I've got a light switch which controls this light. This is a standard outside up-down light which has a steel casing. We've also got a metal clad socket which has got fly lead earth in it. And this light bulb here is going to be indicating or kind of be a substitute for a human being. So this is what I'm going to use as an example as a human being to show you how deadly electricity can be. So I've got my mains cable coming in here, which is connected up to here. The earth is here, and then this earth is connected to the earth and the fuse board. Everything here is earthed, or is what we commonly call as electricians the CPC, the circuit protective conductor. There is an earth and a way going here. The metal casing on this light is earthed. There's an earth to this light as well, though it doesn't need it. It's a Class 2 fitting. It is earthed, and so is the front plate and the back box as well. And what we're going to do here is indicate a fault between the line conductor and the CPC or earth conductor by using water. And what we're going to show you is what can happen if you don't have the correct protections in place and there's a fault on your circuit. Right, so at the moment there are no faults on this circuit. This is working as it should be. So I'm going to show you now how everything should work and it's safe to use. So power on, light switch on, there we go. This light turns on as it should from this light switch. Everything is earthed, the earths are connected, there are no faults in the system. Obviously you've got this here. So what happens if there's a fault is, what I'm going to show you is that with the correct protective conductors and devices in place, what should happen in the event of a fault between the live conductor and the earth conductor. As you can see, what happened, the RCBO up here tripped. What the RCBO does is it detects an imbalance between the neutral and the live conductor. And if there are any differences between the two conductors, you should have 230 volts going down the live and then the 230 volts returning back through the neutral. If it notices that there is a difference in the voltages between the two conductors, it will trip the device. In this case, when I popped the live and the earth cable into the water, the live current or voltage was travelling down the earth, so it detected that there was a difference and tripped the device. This is a safety device to protect you from electric shock. Very, very important to have. What I'm going to show you now is what happens when the earth or the CPC is disconnected from this circuit. The RCBO cannot simply do its job because it cannot detect a difference between the live conductor and the neutral conductor. So when carrying out tests like this, always use VDE rated tools. Right. Power source is on. That is on. So the light is working as it should do. It doesn't actually require an earth for it to work. All it requires is a live and a neutral conductor. But what happens is, when I introduce a fault, it doesn't trip this time. And what I'm going to indicate now, using a volt stick. Now, I don't recommend these to prove dead. There we go. But I can recommend these to prove live. What I'm going to show you now is that the casing of this light has now got 230 volts flowing through it. This socket is also on the same circuit. 230 volts through the casing. The water is now live. 230 volts flowing through the water. And obviously the main earth terminal is now live. Now what I'm going to show you next is what is absolutely terrifying. This cable here is connected to this light, which is going to indicate what this is going to be our human being. If I introduce this cable to the fault, for example, let's say I'm touching this light, for example, out in the real world, obviously I'm earthed, I'm on the ground. If I introduce this light, this cable, which is the human, to that light, it lights up. That indicates that now 230 volts is now flowing through that light, which is a human being. And what I can do next is indicate what should happen when you reintroduce the earth. It trips. The safety device has now worked because the CPC has been reintroduced. So what this test highlights is the importance of having the correct safety devices in place to protect you or others from electric shock. So landlords, this rule was introduced, I'm not sure when it was introduced, but you now must have RCD protection or RCBO protection in your properties to prevent something like this happening to one of your tenants, to either the adults or even the children, for example. This is what's terrifying. A few years ago, there was a terrible tragedy where a pub had a fault on its system, and from what I'm led to believe from all the reports, the owner of the pub had a fault. Rather than paying an electrician to come out and sort it, they disconnected the earth from the system, which is what I was indicating is what's happening here, to stop the RCD from tripping. Unfortunately and tragically, there was a fatality at that place. There was a 7 or an 8-year-old boy who was fatally electrocuted, and all because of this fault that could have been avoided just by paying someone to come out and fix the fault. It is a terrible, terrible tragedy, and I hope that me showing you this can indicate the importance of having RCD protection in your home, in your rental property, in your public house, anywhere where you've got electricity. Please, 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 if you don't have the correct device, get in contact with a local electrician to get it upgraded, get it tested and get it upgraded, because you'd rather be safe than sorry. I'd hate to be brutally honest with that, but it is savage. You know, electricity is not forgiving. It's a silent killer, and yeah, thankfully we're quite strict in the regulations in this country. Other countries aren't so strict, but I still find to this day many times, many houses where they do not have an RCD protecting their home, and I try and highlight all the time how dangerous it can be to not have it, because in the event of a fault, it can be fatal. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I hope you learned something. If you need an electrician, if you're in the Hertfordshire area, Bedfordshire area, and you're interested in getting your house tested, getting it upgraded, get in contact with us. My details are in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.